15-year sentence. He messed around and got RICO'd. It seems like he doesn't really know how to handle his time in there yet. He's calling me. He's hanging up. He's calling another dude. I know of one more. He's calling his girl.
Non-apologetic nonsense.
Any of y'all have any long-term friends who are doing time? I'm talking people doing long-term time, you know. Like, I got a couple friends in the pen right now. One of them, I mean, I've known him since we were 13 or so. He's had more time in the pen than out since then. Like, right now, he's doing, I can't remember if it was an 11-year or a 15-year sentence. He messed around and got RICO'd. They took down his entire operation. The guy who's doing a little bit of time that I know, he's getting his first taste of it, and he's starting to get that attitude saying, like, people on the outside have churned on him, right? And I never really liked that because, like I say, my friend who's doing the time, he understands it. Like, I'll pick up the phone for him, we'll text, I'll put money on his books, but you know what I'm saying? Within reason. So this is sort of a rhetoric I hear from a lot of inmates. They'll say, people have churned on me. But the thing is, when they go to jail, a lot of people, all they want to do is reach out. They'll want to call you every day, talk for 30 minutes, then call you 3 hours later when they get lonely. Or they'll call and leave these long messages, right? And you're paying for that. You're paying for those long messages. So I do find that kind of selfish. You're okay with your people fitting like what could literally be a $1,500 a month bill just because you're kind of feeling lonely. Anyone who's had someone close to them who's been locked up for a period of time, you know what I'm talking about, right? But there's two kinds of people. There's the kinds of people who do that, get mad. Like, you typically hear it with their girl first, right? Like, I've called her 16 times today, left messages, sent texts. She hasn't picked up. She's turning on me. I warned her, don't you leave me after a couple months. And sure enough, I mean, some of that is happening. But really what it is that they completely ignore the fact that they're not bringing in income now. And sure, $20, $30, you know, $200 a month. All right. But some of these calls are so much per minute. You know, I had a buddy locked up somewhere. It was like 30 cents per minute. And then when you're having these long conversations, you don't understand. Like the dude I'm talking about who's locked up for 10 plus years right now. He was locked up when I was still living with my parents. You know what I mean? So it would be back in the day of collect calls where I can remember my parents would get their monthly bill, right? And it would go from like $100 bill to a $600 bill that now I have to answer for. You know what I mean? I can't be like, nah, when he gets out, he's going to go back to doing what got him in there and we'll have that money back pretty quick, you know? That doesn't exist. So I do find it kind of selfish. And that's where I'm at with the dude who, you know, he's doing like between 1 and 2 years. So he'll probably be out in like 14 months or something. It seems like he doesn't really know how to handle his time in there yet. It's constantly reaching out to me, and I've talked to other people. It's not just me. He's calling me. He's hanging up. He's calling another dude. I know of one more. He's calling his girl. His parents are separated, so I'm sure they're both receiving equal calls. You know, you really do got to work out a system. That dude who's been locked up for a long time, I put money on his books. And so they have a pay to text system. And I've told them, hey, text me all you want. I'm probably not going to get right back with you, but I'm never going to fully leave you hanging. And what I always try to do, because it's pay per text, I always try to just turn text to speech on and just dictate, right? So, I mean, my text messages to him, you know, 5-10 minutes of reading for him. You know, I just go and go and go because that seems like the respectable thing to do. Now, you do never know how much to tell a person when they're locked up. Like a friend of mine who's close with this same dude, he's told me, he's like, man, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't want to tell the guy how well I'm doing because I don't want him to feel worse. And we've kind of had that conversation of like, how much do you tell? Like, if something great happens that they can obviously be no part of, do you talk about that? Or do you kind of leave it as is? But we kind of together came to the conclusion that, nah, talk about it all. You know what I mean? He got locked up. If he doesn't want to hear that stuff, he'll tell us. But maybe this can at least give him something to Like, look forward to maybe him getting out and getting some wins. But I don't know. Like I say, this dude, I love him to death, but he's been locked up more than he hasn't. So I hope this is his last time, right? But statistically speaking, he's going to get out. He's going to be on paper. He is definitely set up to fail. So if he gets in a position where he's going to have to pay restitution or these huge fines, knowing that he's making minimum wage and the fines are going to be more than he could afford and also live on minimum wage, it's like they force you back into that system. So, I mean, you got to be super strong. So I hope he doesn't go back, but by all logic, I really don't know the answer to that yet. I have always gone out of my way to keep ties with those I was close with, right? Even some I really wasn't, but it makes me think, would I want to keep ties with people? You know, if I was doing a long, decade-long sentence, do I want to be talking to people on the outside? Because to me, with my personality, it seems like that would make me miserable, right? Especially if I were in a relationship, right? You see these guys who are locked up. Their first instinct is, the girl's cheating. What the hell's she doing? A week has passed. She hasn't came up and saw me. And that's what I'm kind of talking about. It's kind of me, you know? But I do kind of feel for him because that seems like torture. And I don't know if I'd want to be involved in that torturous game. I almost think I'd rather just cut all ties. Be like, this is what I got. What is inside of here? This is all there is right now. It's hard to say without doing a long period of time, but it seems to me like that would be easier than having to keep track and worry about what people are doing on the outside when you have no say, nor could you even retaliate. You know, you find out some dude's banging your broad. What are you going to do? You know, you're going to sit there and just be tormented by that information. I would just about rather not know, or rather just let a girl go, you know, like, hey, I'm about to go do 8 years. Maybe we'll connect when I get out, you know, but nice knowing you, you know. I also think like my buddy, for example, what is he realistically going to do when he gets out? Like, I know we've lost touch over the last month because I think he's about to hit halfway house. He may already be there and just can't have communication yet. I did have one of his girls, or a girl, reach out to me and give me a message from him. But, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, let's say you walk out. You've been in the pen for 10 years. Maybe they give you $30 bus fare. Maybe not, but let's, for the sake of argument, say they do. You have no home. Every possession you had has been long gone. And if you're the type of person who's in and out the pen, you probably burnt bridges with everyone close to you. Hell, maybe you've been in jail so long, like your parents aren't even around, or you've lost touch with your friend group. Like, what do you realistically do? You don't even have enough money for a hotel. You don't have money to live. Like, I understand a long-term goal. But what do you do? Like, you walk out. This is what I mean by being set up to fail. You walk out. You take your bus to the center of town. You use whatever few dollars you have left to get something good to eat and maybe something for tomorrow. But it almost forces you right back into doing something really stupid. Even if it's just out of survival. Like, if you've gotten out of there and you haven't eaten in a few days, I mean, you're going to steal something to eat. And I don't blame you for that, but you're on paper. So that little move can send you right back. I don't know. It's a devilish game. Now, I'm lucky enough, I kind of skirt and skived around that thing. You know, I had 2 federal trials, 1 conviction, but no real jail time. You know, I was almost saved from it. And there was a point, like the same guy I've been talking about, where I saw I think it was on a second sentence. So we're probably like 18, 19. It's before we were 20. And I'm like, damn, you know, this literally could have been any of us that got to the position and rose in that industry, let's say. So I just washed my hands of the whole thing, right? I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, nah, not me. So I was lucky in that sense, but I mean, not everyone's so lucky. So even though these people fucked up, you know, I do try to have sympathy, especially for the friendship that we did once have. So I don't know, but if you're serving time or have, and you know someone who is, and they're always doing that, this person churned on me and they ain't got no love for me anymore. Maybe they just don't want a $1,500 a month bill. Maybe it's not that simple. Maybe even though you're locked up and you're going through a bad time, you should have consideration for those other people that you care about in your life. Organize a little bit of a plan is all I'm saying. We'll do phone calls on Tuesdays, text messages 2 times a week. But hell, you got to cut them a little bit of slack. You know what I mean?